We're at the Dallas Safari Club convention in the Tejas Ranch and Game Fence booth. Today we have Lee Ellsworth with us from Gallagher. Lee, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Well, first thing I wanted to talk about was some of the product that Gallagher has come out with that's top quality features and benefits.
Yes, sir.
Specific more to Tejas and what they've done with Gallagher Electric Fences.
Perfect. What Tejas has done is Gallagher has come out in the last about 2 years with what we call iSeries Energizer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a higher end, I stands for intelligent, and it's a stronger, more joules, so more horsepower unit, so it's made for larger areas to push through more weeds and shorts and grass and things like that. So it can stand up and run just like a bigger tractor can compared to a smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
And what John and Tejas has done has applied that to an application outside of the standard controlling cattle or horses, and applied it to the game and predator and controlling deer and things like that to keep things under control inside or outside of a traditional tall game fence per se. Along with the intelligent part of it comes monitors, remotes to where you can turn things on and off without having to be at the physical unit up at the barn or up at the shed. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of features that it can do that Tejas has learned and challenged themselves with understanding with Gallagher's help, of course, mm-hmm. and made a lot of people's lives easier by keeping varmints and predators off their fence to make their fence last longer.
Yeah, so you mentioned a lot about predators in those comments there. Talk about specifically hog proofing, coyotes, varmints.
Right.
How did John apply that, whether the animals are pushing on the fence,
right,
or keeping them in or out, so on?
Right. So with predator control in small areas or doe pens where they're fawning and things like that, obviously you have coyotes and bobcats and other predators. So you want to keep those out. So having an offset system, which would be putting a electric fence wire away from your high fence, your woven wire fence, to keep them from digging under or climbing over, is the end game that we want to have the result of. And it takes a little trial and error with wire spacings and things like that, because some things you won't climb, some things dig, so close to the ground or up high. Mm-hmm. It's all a challenge, a little bit of trial and error with
Sure.
it, but it does work at the end of it all.
Yeah, and John's one of his things that he says consistently is, I like systems that work.
Correct.
And so he's willing to work through those to create a solution for his clients.
Yes, solutions are the key, and that's what I really enjoy too, is coming up with solving a problem.
Yep.
So it does take a little thought, but it can be done. And of course, like anything, maintenance is required for it to last down the road. Just like mowing your grass, just because you mowed it this week, if you don't mow it next week, it's going to get out of control faster than you can handle.
Right. Well, we mentioned John earlier. Just give us a word on your experience as a vendor, Gallagher being a vendor of Tejas, and your experience in working with the group at Tejas and all their staff, and your experience with them.
It's been wonderful. Easy to deal with. They have the most up-to-date software when it comes to mapping things out and giving a visual of solving a problem. They're not just saying we need to go around 400 acres and help me figure out what we need. They know where every turn and little divot in the ground is, so mm-hmm. so we can figure out how many brackets we need, the total length of wire, because going around a circle is a lot further than going around a square. So how many stops and starts, things like that. They have the most up-to-date equipment to make everybody's life easier, to get an accurate amount of things and cost and so on and so forth.
Sure. Well, Lee, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you coming by the booth.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.